Let's understand ANOVA with this example. It is example 15.8 from the book, Neumann's book, The Rain in Spain. Here we want to know if there is any difference in three methods of rainmaking. So we have these methods of rainmaking, A, B and C, and we have recorded the mLs of rain produced per day for 6 days of the experiment. So that means we have three treatments, A, B and C, and we have 6 replicates. These 6 days of experiment, we can treat them as our replicates. So replicates are the experimental units receiving the same treatment. 6 days for A, 6 days for B and 6 days for C. And again, the experimental design here is a balanced design where the number of replicates are equal for each treatment. Linear model goes like this. So we have the observation Yij, and that's equal to mu, grand mean, tau represents treatment, and Eij represents the error term. We can also say that each observation has a component from the mean. It is having a treatment effect, and there is a error or noise associated with it. That is the unexplained variation in our experimental design. So here we are considering CRD, completely randomized design, and this is the linear model for the CRD. So these terms are mu is equal to grand mean, Yij is the jth observation receiving the ith treatment. The treatment here is raining method. Tau I is the effect of ith treatment, and Eij is the error associated with jth observation receiving the ith treatment. Degrees of freedom. Total degrees of freedom here we have are n into t, where n is number of replicates, t is the number of treatments. So it is 3 into 6, that is 18. We have 6 replicates and 3 treatments. So it is 6 into 3, 18, and one of them goes to estimate the mean, grand mean. And the degrees of freedom for treatment are t minus 1, since we have t number of treatments, and the error receives nt minus t, that is the total, n into t. 6 into 3, 18, minus t, that's 15. So 18 degrees of freedom are distributed as 1 for mean plus 2 for the treatment, and the remaining 15 degrees of freedom, they are assigned to the error term. Now we understand this analysis of variance table. Before we do that, we should understand the term sum of squares. Sum of squares are sum of squared deviations. In fact, we want to calculate the deviations of each number from the grand mean as well as from the treatment mean. So this first part is where we calculate the total variation in our data set, our total sum of squares. That is how each of those observations it varies from the grand mean. So grand mean we calculate here as y dot dot. It is sum over y I dot, sum over the numbers coming for each treatments, 6 numbers here, 6 numbers here, 6 number here, divided by n, that is the total number of treatments. So we take the sum of all the numbers here, 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 and then we take the their average. So in fact we actually calculate their and their individual means, and we can divide it by 3, or we can take all those numbers in all those observations and sum them up and then divided by total number of observations. So total number of observation here is 18. So either we can get it from those treatment means or we can get it from all those individual numbers. So this grand mean is 11.17. 11.17. So we calculate the deviation of each of those observations from this grand mean. So how 12 varies from this 11.17, and then we put it here. And since we already proved that sum of the deviations is always 0, so we take squares of these deviations. So this is the sum of squared deviations, the whole term which we actually calculating. We are taking those square deviations for all those 18 numbers, this one, this one, this one, and all of them, 6 here, 6 here, 6 here, 18 of them in total. And then we can calculate their deviations from the grand mean, and this grand mean is 11.17 here. And then finally we can go to each treatment and we can add them up. So sum at this point here for the A's is 12.17, and for the B's is 5.50, and for the C's it's 14.83. So total sum of square which we get is sum of all of them, or we can take the sum over all of these numbers directly. So that is 32.50. So that is the total variation which we captured in this data set. Now this deviation has two parts. We have already seen that in the previous session. One is the this sum of square that comes from within each treatment, and one of them is the sum of square between or among the treatments. So sum of square, total sum of square is sum of square among plus sum of square within. So now we calculate this sum of square within, that is within each treatment. So how each of those replicates, they vary from their own treatment mean. How this 12 varies from this 12.50. So it is minus 50 we do for the next, and we do it for all of them, and again we square them because sum of the squares, sum of the deviations is 0. So we take the square deviations and then we take their sum. So that's we get in fact this sum of squared deviations, or the name is reduced to sum of squares. So it is 12 minus 12.50, and then we square it. So it was minus 0.5, and when we square it, it's 0.25, and it's almost the same for rest of the group. We do that for all of those replicates here and put it here, and we do that for all replicates of B, and we do that for all replicates of the C, and finally we can add them up here in their respective columns for each treatment. All replicates for each for A they will be summed here, for B they will be summed here, and for C they will be summed here, and finally we add them up. So total sum of square, this sum of square within, or sum of square within treatment, that is coming from within the replicates of this of each of these treatments A, B and C, is 15.17. So total sum of square was having two components, this sum of square within, and the other part is sum of square between or among treatments. So this one we calculate like this. So how each treatment mean varies from the grand mean. So the treatment A has a mean of 12.5, treatment B has a mean of 10.83, and C has a mean of 10.17, and we take their deviations from their this grand mean. So that is 11.17, and then we multiply it by their respective number of replicates, since each of those square deviations are coming from the number of replicates equal to R, which is here it is 6. All of them have six replicate. So we multiply this term with this Rn, that represents the number of replicates. So the number which we get for this first number, 12.5 minus 11.17, square it and then multiply it with 6. So it is 10.6. We get 0.67 for B, and we get 6 for C. And then when we sum them up, it's 17.33. So that is the treatment sum of square, or model sum of square, or between sum of square. Or we can also call it as among sum of square, or sum of square among. Among means more than two treatments. Alright, so now we take all those sum of squares and we take all those degrees of freedom and we put them in their respective row. We have each term is represented as a row in this ANOVA table. This is the ANOVA table. So we have the first column where we have the source, then degrees of freedom, and sum of squares, mean square, F table, and p-value. So between or among, or we can also call it as model or treatment. So this term is here and this is its respective sum of square. We can call it as between sum of square if we have two treatments, among sum of squares if we have more than two, or model or treatment sum of square. All names for the same thing. And this is its mean square. That's actually the variance which we were talking about in the initial lectures, introductory lectures over ANOVA. And remember, we call it as S square and we presented it with S square A. And this term within we presented as S square W. So that is the same thing as mean square. So we can also call it as mean square for between group, or mean square among, or mean square model, or mean square treatment. Most of the time we see this term there in the ANOVA tables. So MST, mean square treatment. And for this term we see most of the time they use the word error, sometimes within, but mostly we see error. So this is the sum of square error, this is sum of square treatment. But please recall that we do have other names for the same thing. This term had the name like between, among, and model. So mean square is this sum of square divided by its respective degrees of freedom. Now we average that, right? So total sum of square which we get for this term we divide it by the total number of degrees of freedom we have. Since we are dealing with the samples, so we will divide it by degrees of freedom, respective degrees of freedom. So degrees of freedom for treatment is 2, sum of square is 17.3, so mean square is 17.3 divided by 2. Same way for the error term, sum of square is 15.17, degrees of freedom is 15, so mean square for the error term is 15.17 divided by 15. Now we get 8.67 here, we get 1.01 here, and the F which we get is 8.67 divided by 1.01. The F which we get is, that is our F calculated, it is 8.57. Now we can go into the F table and find the F critical and then compare it, like this F calculated should be greater than F critical if we want to reject the null hypothesis. Or we can go and rely on the p-values. So mostly softwares, they return the p-values. So p-value which we will get here is actually the if we go to the table or Excel, we can get the value as the area to the left, that is the p up till this point, up till this F calculated. So in order to get the area to the right, we will do 1 minus whatever our p at that F calculated is. So that is, here we get this right side value, the true value, that is 0.02, and we simply compare it with alpha. So alpha over here is 0.05, that is most of the time we have alpha of 0.05. Since this p-value is less than alpha, or we say way less than alpha, right, so we will reject the null hypothesis and we conclude like with an alpha probability of 0.05, that is the probability of type 1 error. We reject H0 and conclude that there is a significant difference in the mean range produced among these three methods.